kernel had adopted in that meeting carried a real risk that an email or a letter would be written to the Minister or the Chief of Staff referring to your role as a member of the Minister's office in this whole affair. Do you recall that?
Yes, I remember you were saying that, Commissioners. I wish to show you one example. That I don't think he would have written the letter. Yes, the risk do exist, but I don't think he would have written the letter to the Minister because he was relying on me to facilitate whatever that you're dealing with.
But what he was being told to do by the Hawks Colonel was to write an email to the Minister or to the Chief of Staff or to the Deputy National Commissioner.
That's correct.
Now, I want to put to you that it wouldn't make sense for you to run this risk unless you had some sense that there wouldn't be serious consequences for you in the Minister's office if such an email was sent.
That risk, it is not correct that, like I said, the risk was not that much immense.
Your destination is on the right.
Now, Commissioners, just look at the message that I sent to General Khan. I said to General Mkhwana, I said, General Khan will brief you next week. He never spoke to him. He never even asked him that I was told I'll be briefed. In that, you see, when these things happen, just that perhaps they have not happened to certain people, you will believe, because it is not that while we are sitting talking about this, there are no arrangements made prior. A phone will ring, it will be written a certain name, and I'll say, and I go outside. When I get there, I don't talk to anyone. When I come back here, the Minister is now, I must leave. Let's finish what we're doing. There was no way you could talk to the Minister.
Why would he not have been able to email the Chief of Staff or the Minister? They both have public emails.
Should that stage arise, he still had to get the email address from me. He still had to get all the contacts from me. So there was no way.
The Chief of Staff and the Minister have email addresses that you can access online.
You may say that in so many ways, but like I said, he should have gone to them directly if he had that in mind. So why would he come to me? Why would he agree to meet with me when he actually could just raise the matter with the Minister directly?
It was in the meeting that he was urged to write to the Minister, was it not?
Correct.
You see, I want to look back at the chronology and what was exchanged between you and the Minister, and then come back to this risk and assess it in that light. That chronology, and we only have 3 signal chats to work with, but what those 3 signal chats show is that when you told the Minister on the 23rd of December there was a breakthrough, and I put it to you that that breakthrough related to possible IPID arrests of PKTT members, he phoned you twice. He phoned you back twice on that day. And he texted you the next day to find out if the arrest had been effected. And then later in December, you sent a screenshot about a constitutional court judgment where you told the minister to charge General Khumalo either himself or through General Sabia. You recall that?
That's correct.
And then we come to the third signal chat that we have. That's the signal chat of 26 January. It's at page 210. So maybe if we can go there, sorry, 110 of the annexure bundle. And we discussed it yesterday a little, or the day before yesterday a little, and you recall it addressed three different things. The first was the situation in Phoenix in relation to the woman. The second was the businesswoman in the BRICS cybersecurity arrangement. And the third had two components. It was the guy of the funding, who you said is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He's the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS. And still under the same number, you said also meeting with the DNC and COS today in Durban for finalization of Khumalo and General Mkhonazi's matters. And then you followed that up with another message to the minister saying DNC is waiting for the COS here. This is very significant. And I want to put to you that if one looks at the chronology, the Khumalo and Mkhonazi matters that you were discussing with the minister that would involve the DNC and the Chief of Staff actually were your attempts to have the two generals set up on charges for defeating the ends of justice in relation to the General Khan inquiry.
No, that is not true.
Well, what was it? What were the Khumalo and Mkhonazi matters?
I did say previously, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? It was my wish that that the Chief of Staff could meet with the DNC to actually allude to him all that he has heard from General Mkhonazi about me. That was all about.
And how does that relate to General Khumalo?
Because it was him, according to the Chief of Staff, in his words, what General Mkhonazi spoke, he also mentioned General Khumalo. And I believe it is because in my chat that time I said, how is your standing with General Khumalo? And he wanted to know what is it that General Khumalo said about him when I gave that other explanation about not listening and the CITs and stuff like that. That was the reason.
And can I ask you why you thought that the Chief of Staff of the Minister of Police and the Deputy National Commissioner of the South African Police Service would spend a time having a meeting to discuss your relationship with General Mkhonazi and General Khumalo? Why would it be any concern of theirs?
It was not my relationship. It was what General Mkhonazi said to the Chief of Staff.
What did he say to the Chief of Staff?
He told me over the phone that Lieutenant General Mkhonazi says there's a problem with the guy from Northwest. Mogotsi is the one who's creating problems for us. Something of that sort.
And you thought that this was a matter for the immediate attention of the Deputy National Commissioner and the Chief of Staff?
The advantage was they were both in Durban at that time. That's the reason.
Sorry, I'm afraid I didn't hear that answer.
I was taking advantage that they were already in one place, like in the same area that time.
Your follow-up message, DNC is waiting for the Chief of Staff here. This is very significant. What was so significant about the fact that the Chief of Staff hadn't come to a meeting to discuss?
Mr. Mogotsi, please wait until the question has been...
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was so significant about the fact that the Chief of Staff in the Minister's office hadn't yet arrived for a meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner to discuss what General Mkhwanazi had apparently said to the Chief of Staff about you?
Commissioners, this question has been posed again. I did say I was kind of requesting the Minister to ask or somehow tell the Chief of Staff to meet with the DNC so that he could speak to him about this problem, whatever that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi said about me to the Chief of Staff.
Sorry, what General Khumalo said about you to the Chief of Staff?
No, General Mkhwanazi said about me to the Chief of Staff.
And that was the finalization of the Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi's matters as far as you were concerned?
Yeah, just to finalize that thing of what General Mkhwanazi said and what his concerns.
All you wanted apparently was finality in relation to learning what General Mkhwanazi thought about you. Is that what you're saying?
Not thought, what he told Chief of Staff about me.
Why would that require a meeting with General Sabir? Chief of Staff knew what he told you.
It's not that he wanted me. It was my suggestion that he should tell the DNC as soon as possible.
And why would the DNC have any interest in what General Mkhwanazi had told the Chief of Staff about his thoughts in relation to you?
The DNC is a senior police officer.
And what business is it of the DNC what General Mkhwanazi tells the Chief of Staff of his views in relation to you? Why is this a top-level police matter?
Like I said, it is what I suggested. You know, if you suggest something and you feel it is correct and you do it, then you are questioned why, and you still say, no, I thought that was the right thing to do. And that was the right thing to do.
Do you think that it is a sensible use of the time of the Deputy National Commissioner and the Chief of Staff in the Minister's office for them to meet specifically to discuss what General Mkhwanazi may have said to the Chief of Staff about you?
It is. You know, I don't know how this can be explained thoroughly. Including General Mkhwanazi himself, he did send a message to the Minister that they must have a meeting and I must be present. It was testified in the ad hoc committee. But now, when it's me requesting, you know, it becomes something else. General Mkhwanazi did ask the Minister to call a meeting with the DNC and whoever, but the Minister did not do that meeting. But when it's me requesting just the 2 instead of 5, which General Mkhwanazi requested, this becomes so questionable in many ways.
There is a difference. If you're talking about a provincial commissioner in one province asking for a meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner to sort out relations within the top-level leadership of the South African Police Force, that makes sense.
With Brown Mogotsi present.
With Brown Mogotsi present, if Brown Mogotsi is interfering with those relations.
So, I can't ask questions. Sorry, Commissioner. No, I almost asked that. So is it what General Mkhwanazi said to Senior Counsel Tswarelo?
And why was that Khumalo's matter?
Because he did, when Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi spoke to the Chief of Staff, he did mention General Khumalo.
Did he mention General Khan?
No, he did not tell me about General Khan.
Chief of Staff didn't tell you about General
No, he
Khan?
didn't tell me.
You see, I want to put it to you that answer is self-evidently false, and that the Khumalo and Mkhwanazi's matters that you were referring to have to relate to something else.
No, it's not true. It's not false. What I'm saying here is that they had to meet, and I was thinking if Chief of Staff explains to the DNC exactly how he had whatever that General Mkonazi was saying was going to bring a kind of closure to the thinking of General Mkonazi.
You see, Mr. Mogotsi, you know what that meeting was about. The Commission can only draw its own inferences from what it sees in the evidence and any credible version that you put forward. Now, I'm going to put it to you that you haven't put forward any credible version, and so the Commission can only draw the most likely inference from what it sees in relation to all of these texts, which is that having regard to the timeline, having regard to the fact that you sent these messages to the Minister, that the Mkonazi and Khumalo matters that you were referring to were your attempt to have General Mkonazi and General Khumalo charged with defeating the ends of justice in relation to the Khan inquiry. That's what the evidence points to. One sees it in the timeline, one sees it in your meeting with the source, where the three people who the source is encouraged to engage with are the Minister, the Chief of Staff, and General Sibiya. One doesn't see any other plausible explanation for what you were referring to in relation to the General Khumalo matter and the General Mkonazi matter. So unless you can give us one, we have to leave it at this point and draw the inference from the actual evidence that we have. So what are you saying these matters were?
It is obviously going to be what the senior counsel is saying, commissioners. If inference will only be taken from what the Commission see at their disposal, being that they must believe, there is nothing I can do. On my side, I did look. I've just tried to say, like Madam Commissioner said, I did not bring anything. I said I have people, names, contact numbers who can corroborate something here. The Commission has never said what Senior Counsel is saying now, that they will take the information from those people, or they will ever allow me to bring that evidence. Or
who can we speak to corroborate your version that the meeting you were calling for here was to discuss what General Mkonazi had told the Chief of Staff in relation to you?
Those are the only two people we can speak to, General Sibiya and Chief of Staff. Particularly Chief of Staff will tell you exactly that no, after General Mkonazi called me, he did speak about Mr. Brown Mogotsi in this way and this way, and Brown requested that we should have a meeting.
When did you make this request?
I cannot remember. We'll have to go through what it was. Obviously, there are dates here, but I cannot remember specifically that time. I'll have to check when was that.
You see, what you say in this message, which was sent on the 26th of January, is that you were meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner and the Chief of Staff today, in other words, the 26th of January, in Durban for finalization of the Khumalo and General Mkonazi's matters. And so are you suggesting that you had arranged a meeting in Durban on the 26th of January for the Deputy National Commissioner and the Chief of Staff to get together with you to brief you on what General Mkonazi had said about you, and in the process to mention what he may or may not have heard from General Khumalo?
I was in Durban, the DNC was in Durban. I was requesting that the three of us could meet. That's what I'm trying to say, that the two, Chief of Staff can come and narrate what he heard from Lieutenant General Mkonazi to the DNC.
Well, that's not what you were requesting. What you were saying in the first message is that you were meeting. You were going to meet with the DNC and the COS today. Not please can I, it's also meeting with the DNC and COS today in Durban for finalization of this. So you're saying you had set up a meeting with them?
I had requested a meeting to set.
So
And it
you were
never
hoping to
materialized.
meet as opposed to...
And it never materialized, that meeting.
Well, it partially materialized because apparently General Sabia arrived for your meeting. Because your next text says DNC is waiting for the COS here. This is very significant.
Yes, but it did not materialize. Chief of Staff, the one who was supposed to come and relay the message, did not come.
See, but General Sabia did come.
General Sabia was in Durban already, and I've asked him to wait at that particular place. I was going to come in case the Chief of Staff arrives, so he did not come. The Chief of Staff.
What was the particular place at which you were, at which General Sabia was told to wait?
No, General Sabia, he was in one hotel. It was, I think, Southern Sun.
Sorry, which hotel? The Southern Sun Hotel.
Yeah, in Durban.
Do you remember which Southern Sun?
No, what?
And is that where this meeting was going to take place?
No, he was at the Southern Sun that moment. So I was telling the minister, please ask Chief of Staff to also come because Sabia was waiting. But the fact that he did not even answer the phone or responded, meaning Chief of Staff, I ended up not going myself. I went, at some stage, I went to the airport and left.
Where was the meeting going to take place?
If a Chief of Staff answered the phone, the venue could still be confirmed at that moment, just to check.
So there was no confirmed venue yet?
Yes, we were not yet agreed as to where we're going to meet. That's correct.
And the Deputy National Commissioner was just waiting to find out where he was going to have this meeting with the Chief of Staff?
We would speak.
Yourself.
It would depend where the Chief of Staff was, and maybe you could have said, let's meet where the Chief of Staff was, or where the DNC was.
While we're on this screenshot, can we go back to the start of this last item, where you say the guy of the funding, brackets 20, is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He is the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS. Now, Mr. Madlanga had been funding what he thought was the minister's campaign. Is that not correct?
Mr. Madlanga only funded the trip that went for the January 8th celebration.
Yes, but he understood himself to be contributing to the minister's campaign. Is that not correct?
No, it's not correct.
I think it is.
Yes.
If we go to the relevant texts, you'll see, first of all, when you want money from him, you keep on saying, we are going to lose 2 regions. We need 12,500 for each of the regions.
For the regions, that's correct.
Yes. So what were the regions there to do?
You see, in the organization, we'll always have comrades in different parts of the country whom we will always have a relationship with. Even in our region, when we need something, we'll call them. You can be called in Mpumalanga, someone saying, hey, we have a regional conference, or we have this, please assist us with transport and so forth. And I don't think, talking of this presidential ambitions and all these things, they have not started. It is premature for people to say Madlanga was going to fund the campaign. It has not started. I haven't seen any political race so far. The ANC is going to local elections, is preparing for that. I never saw the presidential thing coming.
Can I take you to the exchange that you had with Mr. Madlanga in relation to D-Day?
To?
D-Day.
All right.
That's the 31st of December.
Page?
My section, it starts on, well, the relevant passage that I want to deal with is 59. You have it?
Yes.
And we've been through it already.
Is it paragraph or page?
Page 59 of the annexure bundle. Today is D-Day on the other side. I also think you must stand back, you say to Mr. Madlanga. He says, stand back? I don't understand what you mean. You say for your safety and business, we must just fight what comes your way. And then he says, this won't change my contribution towards the minister, though. I made a conscious decision and I'm not backing down. Whatever help the minister needs from my side, I'll be happy to assist. I just don't want to fight losing battles. What does that sound like to you?
It doesn't sound like nothing. He was just saying he wants to change his mind to contribute to the minister, and he has made that conscious decision, and he won't back down. Whatever help the minister needs from his side, he'll be happy to assist. So the minister.
What funding had you been asking him for?
No, we have not asked funding from him. He has not.
Sorry, Mr. Mogotsi, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you were trying to explain away D-Day, you were trying to persuade the Commission that D-Day was the deadline for his contribution to January 8. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And that was for funding?
For the celebration of ANC members traveling there.
Yes, but on the same day as that happens, he says to you, this won't change my contribution towards the minister, though. I made a conscious decision and I'm not backing down. Whatever help the minister needs from my side, I'll be happy to assist.
Yes, he said so.
What help did you think he had in mind?
Remember, it was only after he has met with the minister, he would declare what he would want to contribute. So far, he has not met with the minister. And when I try to digest this, I find it very difficult to explain this, that maybe a knowledge of how campaigns are done. This is not the way campaigns are done. Campaigns, you don't just meet Mr. Brown alone and he tells you about campaigning, he gives you money. Campaigns are done differently.
Well, let's see what he says immediately after he says, let's see what happens immediately after he says, I'm not backing down. Whatever help the minister needs from my side, I'll be happy to assist.
Yes, that's what he said.
So that is at 1140 at the bottom of page 59. If you go to the top of page 60, what do you say? You say, here is our backlog, and we now need to deal with this. It's a last day. I thought we spoke about it, but we did many regions. It's only 2 regions left. Is it possible for you to intervene on the membership for 2 regions, 12.5K each, because today we must pay?
Correct, but all these messages, they don't talk about. You see, it is going to be very unbelievable. Even in my region right now, they were going to the regional conference. Doesn't need Madlanga or the minister to be involved. This that you see, people talking about regions and so forth, it happens every time when conferences or celebration comes. It's not, you cannot fundraise a particular region and align it to the minister. It's individuals in that region that will ask you to assist them.
But it's in response to Mr. Madlanga saying his contribution towards the minister is not going to change.
Yes, that was
whatever help the minister needs, he's going to provide.
Yeah, but it has not, commissioners, every time when these things start, a person will have to meet with the campaign managers and the team. If you are talking provincial or national conference, and when he had those intentions to do that, he has not. It is unfortunate that I had, according to what former Minister Ugaxele said, he said Madlanga said he met me with Senzo Mkunu and he was going to contribute to the presidential campaign of Senzo. I'm saying those campaigns have not started.
Can I look at not what you say today, but what you wrote to Mr. Madlanga at the time? let's go down the page, still on the 31st of December, D-Day. Go down to 1908. You say, we managed to push, we only need for those 2 regions. Then you send a bank account of an OD Lekwaba. Who's OD Lekwaba?
That was for Devon, yes, it's the same, my fiancé.
So, but who is OD Lekwaba?
It's my fiancé.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you send your fiancé's bank account.
Yes.
And you say we need 25K only. And then at 1910, you say we'll engage with everything and anything we need, my boss. The problem is we're going to lose voters in the 2 regions.
That's correct.
Now, how are you going to lose voters? Who are those voters there to vote for?
No, every region, you see, it should not be that is for the presidential for Censo. Censo does not contest in those regions. The assistance was directed to those regions.
So what is the voter issue?
The voters are members that should be assisted. Those are voters.
Members that should be assisted to do what?
In their own regional programs.
You see, Mr. Mogotsi, what this looks like to me, and I would submit to anybody else who looks at it sensibly, is that Mr. Matlala says, I'll do anything that you want to support the minister. I'm here to help the minister. And you then say, well, give me 25,000 to pay for these 2 regions, because otherwise we're going to lose voters. That's the help the minister wants.
No. Unless if I have written, okay, let me stick to the minister, or the minister say you must pay 25K. This should not be mixed with that. There's no way the minister comes in these things. Even if he had, I'm saying, should there be any presidential campaign, there was going to be a team which, and most of the time, the minister will have his chief of staff as a representative, probably. Not only most of ministers or any political head. That's why they have their chief of staff as their political appointees to that.
I see. Well, we'll have to leave that one there. So
before we leave, Advocate Cheskalson, Mr. Mogotsi, why would Ket Matlala be discussing with you a contribution towards the minister on the 31st of December 2024? If it has never come up before, why would he suddenly be talking about a contribution towards the minister?
It was his wish that he will meet with the minister and he will want to contribute for whatever the minister wants. And like I said, if there's any other thing that from the investigation that I picked up, in the midst of all these things, Matlala initially in December the 7th, he told me he wants to meet the minister, he has a problem with his tender, he wants to meet the minister, and once he can meet the minister, he can help him, he can do whatever. Business people do say such things. The important thing is to not put the minister close to this person. That was the instruction of the handler. And they did not meet, he did not even give the minister a cent.
But when Advocate Cheskalson put to you that this is what Ket Matlala thought he was doing, you said, no, that's not the case. Ket thought he was contributing towards the ministers.
No, it was not for the minister. Me and him never agreed that the minister's program is starting now. Please contribute to the minister's having. We never. And I'm not in a position, that's not my capacity, to can ever lay or look for money in the name of the minister. People who can look for money in the name of the minister are those he appoints to run probably his campaign at the right time. Here the campaign has not even started. Look, we are talking December last year. We are going to December. Even next year, December, the campaigns will not be there. We still have 2 years to go to talk presidential campaigns.
Well, can I take issue with that answer? Sorry. Let's go to page 112. That's the WhatsApp that you fabricated to send to Mr. Matlala, pretending to, or masquerading as a WhatsApp to the Chief of Staff. You remember that?
That's correct.
And you created that to look like an authentic exchange between yourself and the Chief of Staff, even though it was fabricated.
That's correct.
So it was designed to say what Mr. Matlala wanted to see you saying to the Chief of Staff.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Can we go down to, well, 112, what's forwarded there is the letter of complaint from inside SAPS. And then 113 is the key piece that you want Matlala to see. You want to see that you're fighting his cause. And there you pretend to be saying to the Chief of Staff, this matter may be escalated to you because of non-performance. Our guy needs your intervention. January 08 guy who's about to take over our program. What are you saying there?
The fact that the message is fabricated, I was trying to show him that it is the guy of January 8, it is the guy who wants to take over the program.
And what's that program?
As you say, remember I was telling you about this, the charity organization in the KZN. This is the one. It's not yet the president.
So it's not a political campaign now, it's the minister's private charitable foundation.
Yes, this is what I also told.
So Kat Matlala was a funding guy, but he wasn't funding a political campaign, he was funding a charitable foundation.
Yeah, which he has not funded. It's the message designed for him to see, for Matlala to see that I send this message.
I see. Well, let's go back then to page 110, because at least we now have some clarity. On page 110, at the foot of the page, you say the guy of the funding is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He's the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS. Well, we now know that Mr. Matlala is a guy of the funding because he's funding the minister's charitable campaign.
Yes. Yeah, I told you it's not even 3 billion, it's 30 million. This is Josias, a different person.
I see, yes. Well, let's first clarify how Mr. Matlala ticks these boxes, and then let's get to Josias. He is a guy of the funding. He, on your version, has offered to take over the minister's charitable foundation, or the funding of the charitable foundation.
The program, yeah.
Yes.
But in this time, you just tell me the program.
Okay.
Yes.
But he's certainly offering funding for a project of the minister's.
Kind of, yes.
And he has a contract with SAPS.
Who
Mr. Matlala.
Yes, yes.
It's not 3 billion. How much is it?
The tender for Matlala?
Yes, the Medicare contract. Do you know what its value
is?
is?
360 million.
360 million. So a bit of exaggeration in this text if it's applied to Mr. Matlala. You say it doesn't refer to Mr. Matlala.
No, it's Josias.
It refers to Josias.
That's correct.
Does Josias have a surname?
Yes, I think he's a vendor surname. He actually told me he has a contract at SAPS, and he was willing to do whatever that we spoke about.
Well, let's get his surname first, because we can then track down Josias.
I only know him. I only know him as Josias. Including him, he never met the minister, he never met the chief of staff. He was just trying to say he can contribute to the guy Josias.
So someone with a vendor surname and a first name called Josias told you he had a contract at SAPS. Was the contract in the name of a company, do you know?
Yeah, we have not yet met and shared the details. He just said he's got a contract and he wants to contribute to that charity organization.
So he wants to contribute to the minister's charity, and he has a contract with SAPS, but you don't know what that contract is.
Yes, I didn't know.
Yesterday or the day before, I think you mentioned that it was a 30 million rand contract.
That's correct.
So you know the value of the contract, but not the subject matter of the contract.
Commissioners, you know, if you check this thing properly, it's not the first time. Someone will say, I'm doing cybersecurity or I'm doing this and that. I want to meet the minister. When in actual fact, you will tell the minister, somebody has interest and he'd like to meet with you or whatsoever. As a comrade, he'll say, hey, man, tell him to go to my province if he wants to contribute in my province. Tell him to speak to Chief of Staff if he wants the meeting. But Les Josias, when I said Tuesday, that meeting also never happened. We never met, and I never made follow-ups because even after that, he did not speak to me much, Les Josias.
So it's just another unfortunate coincidence here that your text refers to someone who seems to tick the boxes of Mr. Madlanga, but actually relates to somebody else called Josias who has a vendor surname and whose other details we seem not to be able to establish.
Yeah, but commissioners, I believe that for Minister Senzo, I could have said this guy has a contract of 360 million, is a Medicare company. I should have given the minister details if it was CAT.
I see. And the fact that you just referred to the funding guy and the contract with SAPS is evidence that it wasn't CAT.
May you please repeat the question, Commissioner?
The fact that you just referred to the funding guy and the contract with SAPS is evidence that you weren't referring to CAT. Is that what you're suggesting to us?
Commissioner, I get confused that, well, I send this message and I've said it so many times that if it was CAT, perhaps I could have identified him differently as opposed to this.
If it wasn't CAT, why did you bother sending this to CAT?
Is to show him that I'm working and I'm very close to the minister and I'm doing something every day. That's, you know, he knew that he has the minister's main all the time. And he did not, that's why sometimes he'll even say, I see you are sending me so many things. What is this? What are you talking about?
So this is just another unfortunate coincidence. You send to CAT a text that looks for all the world that it's referring to him, but actually it isn't.
I don't know what Commissioner is seeing to be a coincidence here.
You see, Mr. Madlanga, I'm reminded of what the villain says in one of those early James Bond movies, which is once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. We're at about 8 times, and you want us to believe that they're all just coincidences.
But there's nothing coincidental here.
It's not a coincidence. You send a text to CAT that looks for all the world that it's referring to CAT, but it's just, unfortunately, a mistaken appearance. It doesn't refer to CAT, although it looks like it's referring to CAT.
Yeah, but Commissioner, CAT did not have 33 billion in contract. No one has. I don't know of anyone. And I knew this was 30 million. And you'd also understand, maybe you want to ask me, how does CAT feels when I say there's a guy who is going to meet, is also has a contract and is going to be available on Tuesday? Maybe if that was the question, Commissioner. Is that the question, Commissioner? Or how does he feel when he sees this?
How does Kat feel when he sees a text from you saying that he's going to be in Joburg on Tuesday and that he's expecting a meeting with the minister?
Another person.
Another person.
That's correct.
Let's look at what happened with Kat. Because straight after you send this meeting, as you send this this text, if we go, staying on page 111 down to 2037, the very next text, you write to Kat, they just left the Lekgotla.
That's correct.
Yes. And he says, so what's the plan? Should I make my way there or what? He thinks he's coming to a meeting with the minister, does he not?
No. This is the time when I said General ugaxele was in Kat's house. This is the one.
Sorry, this is the time?
When I said after Lekgotla, that's when General ugaxele was in Kat's house.
I see.
That's correct.
So you send him a text which says that the guy of the funding is also in Joburg from Tuesday, and he's the one with the contract with SAPS. You then tell him they just left the Lekgotla, and he says, should I come over there? And actually, he's not meeting the person who was told, apparently, that he's in Joburg. He's there to meet somebody else entirely, General ugaxele, who's not been mentioned in any of these texts previously. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but this, commissioners, the meeting here, this is now this is now January. This is the 26th of January on a Sunday. Then
let's take you through the sequence.
Okay.
The chat with the minister is on the Sunday the 26th of January.
That's correct.
Monday was the 27th. Tuesday was the 28th. You tell the minister that the guy of the funding is in Joburg from Tuesday, from the 28th.
That's correct.
On Thursday the 30th, you send that text to Kat.
That's correct.
And Kat says, and then immediately after, on the same day as you send that text, you say, they just left the Lekgotla. And Kat says, should I make my way there or what? What does it look like to you?
Yeah, but you see, this commissioners, perhaps council, you imply that this was the meeting I spoke about. It was not Tuesday. This was now on Thursday.
Yes, but what you said to the minister is the guy with the funding is here in Joburg from Tuesday. Thursday is from Tuesday.
Yeah, that's correct. But Kat is staying here in Gauteng. He's staying in Pretoria. For him to have a meeting, I wouldn't have to say he's there from Tuesday. He's staying here. I can tell you, that's why I said perhaps the question here is, how does Kat feels to show him these meetings? It is for one reason that I showed him these messages, especially this one. One talks about a woman who's doing cybersecurity. The other one talks about someone who's doing a business and whatever and whatever. Is to show Kat that he's not the only business person who will want to engage with the minister. There are so many other pro-business people who can meet with the minister. Could you show him that the minister is also, that he should not believe he's the only businessman who's there. You show that, no, the minister is busy, you also have this one, you also have this one. And you are showing him also in this message is that I am able to tell the minister to meet this businessman. I'm able to tell him, meet this businessman, meet that one. You are showing Kat to continue believing that himself, he'll have this chance to meet with the minister. It's not that it's mistaken and it's coincidental that this now refers to Kat. No. Now here, let me tell you, I need, and this is very sensitive, but it happened. When I said, should I made a plan there? I wish on this particular two things. Commission, may I approach council on these two things? To approach council only 5 seconds. on these two things that I need to give clarity about. Or else I'm going to request to make a representation, because this is something that I don't really think I can just say it here. Maybe I should just ask 1 minute, ask them.
Chair, there may be a route through this. I had arranged with Mr. Matlala's counsel earlier that I apologize, Mr. Mogotsi. Mr. Mogotsi's counsel earlier that because we might sit a little later today, we would have a break. Well, I would ask for a break. And why don't, if we could take a 5-minute, 10-minute break now, just to give Mr. Mogotsi a bit of a break so that we can sit a little later.
Let's adjourn and come back at 10 past.
Thank you, Chair.